Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to the Mandem Talk. We are here with another Man United video, Man United Talk to discuss. But before we do that, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. And we do have Musa coming on his way, so he will be joining me and Adam. Morocco, Maghribi.
Yalla.
Oh, big up Morocco, man. Big up Morocco, man. For
Bro,
those who don't know, Adam is Moroccan. His obviously his native country is Morocco. So how must it be for you right now as a Moroccan? Right now, how do you feel, bro?
it's too much. Like it's too much. It's like it's the end of the semester. I have to study. I have exam, bro. I'm just the whole family and the whole country losing their shit. It's impossible to focus, bro. It's just
Bro.
impossible to focus.
And like I said, you study, so it must be extra like crazy, the family. But you know what? How do you feel? Do you feel proud right now? The fact that
Like
your
too proud.
country is
Too
in the
proud, bro.
quarterfinals of a World Cup. It's the best ever they've done ever
Yeah.
Morocco. Surely. It's the furthest they've gone. The only fourth nation as well to be in the African country in the
Yeah.
quarterfinals. And Portugal, like I said, they might look good, but listen, Morocco will give them problems, man. Man like
Yeah.
Amrabat's United,
He's
man.
a monster.
What are you saying, guys? What are you saying? Amrabat.
Yeah, Amrabat is a monster, bro. And I think I don't know if you recall the last World Cup, but we had his brother Nordin Amrabat as well. It
Yeah.
just feels like we need some Amrabat in the team. So maybe maybe they should start doing another one for the next World Cup. We just need one of those in the team.
Bro, I'm telling you, if Morocco can beat Portugal and go to that semi-final, anything's possible, man. So listen,
Bro.
man, it's gonna be a good one. We're gonna be supporting Morocco. Big up to everybody who locked in. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, Musa will be joining us in any minute now, and obviously later on we've got the Man United versus Cadiz game. So we will be doing a watch along for that one. But Adam. Man like Joao Felix
Yeah.
is on the radar right now. He came out yesterday and made some quotes. He said, "I'm completely focused on the World Cup." He goes, "My agent doesn't tell me anything about what's going on, nor does he want to. I need to be focused on now to play a great tournament." But look at this comment here. My agent doesn't tell me anything what's going on, nor does he want to. So there must be some sort of rift between him and his agent, whether he's trying to get him a deal or not. But Joao Felix is on the market. What are you saying, bro? What are you saying in terms of Joao Felix, the player? Do you like Joao Felix, by the way?
I'm a
I
fan.
think he's
I'm a
got good
fan.
attributes.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I wanted him with the when we were the first summer we were linked to Bruno. I think we were linked to both Felix and Bruno Fernandes that summer. And it was reported 100 million for Joao Felix at the time. So of course it was mad price. But yeah, no, man, I'm a big fan of Joao Felix. I would take it. It's a lot of money. I suppose it's
Yeah,
going to be a big fee. So
I'm going to put up the fee now. It is a lot of money, but these kind of signings, they don't come around often.
I
You
agree.
know, they don't come around often. Atletico Madrid are asking for 130 million euros to 140 million euros for Joao Felix. George Mendes spoke to Man United, Chelsea, and Arsenal on buying. He wants to find a top club. Obviously, Man United at this minute aren't where they need to be, but if you look at what Eric Ten Hag is building, you've got Casemiro there, you've got a couple of players now, you've got his Portuguese compatriot, you've got Dalot there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we used to have Ronaldo, but the fact that we do have a strong Portuguese, Portuguese speaking players as well.
Exactly.
So it is something, but that price tag there, does that make you think, you know what? But it's not a player that you have to pay the big money. It's like a Neymar. I'm not saying he's a Neymar, but I'm just saying these sort of top players, you've got to pay the high end premium.
Yeah, and that would be probably for the summer, I suppose.
Yep. But again, he is available now. The problem is, how would we get him now? Would we do a loan to buy option? When you do like a loan to buy, how Kylian Mbappe after 2 years he had to pay this amount of money and whatnot. Could we do that sort of situation where it's a loan to buy? Because, like I said, right now in January it's going to be very, very difficult. But with the potential new owners coming in, the Glazers might want to go and get a top dollar signing. Maybe then that would appease the new owners coming in because they have to make it sellable. The actual
you have to
project.
raise the value of the club before you sell it.
Yeah,
and if bringing players because let's suppose they spend 300 million, this year between January and the next summer and they sell the club, they can actually put that 300 million in the price tag, because between 5.5 billion and 5.8 billion for a selling price for the club, at that point, what does it really matter for the next owner, I suppose?
Absolutely, man. Musa, big up to Musa. He's in the building. Musa,
what's going on? What's going on?
salam, man. Salam, bro. You've been banging on about the Joao Felix, man. And you know what? It only makes sense now that everything is opening up. You've been saying it. Get me Joao Felix. Get me Felix. And now, like he wants to leave, man. He's coming out and say, yo, someone come by me, man.
Yeah, I just feel like he's a type of signing, besides his ability, that ticked a lot of the Glazeronomics in terms of, someone who's sellable, someone who's good at branding and marketing. And to be honest, he's an ideal poster boy for the Man United Football Club and what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go. And I feel like his ceiling has been his biggest advantage to me in terms of when we looked at players who we can really get. I've always seen him in the mode of, obviously he's a different type of player, but in terms of ceiling, I've always seen him in those players that can go for the Ballon d'Or in their prime. And I don't think he hit his prime, but he's a player that you can see if everything aligns in terms of he doesn't get injuries, he's under the right manager, he gets the right stewardship in terms of progressing his way of football and his IQ in football and getting better as a player with someone like Erik ten Hag and that type of manager, and being at the right club and having that right platform like the Premier League. And, like I said, not getting injured and playing in Champions League, he has the ability to be one of those players who can be mentioned with the Ballon d'Or. So when I've seen other players that we're linked with, like example, we've paid that money. Like, give me an example. I like Anthony from Ajax. But can I say I wouldn't, if I had
90 million worth just yet?
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, if I had to bet, is he going to win a Ballon d'Or and be a contender for it, Anthony? I wouldn't be too sure. I wouldn't be betting too much money on that. There is a possibility, but I'm just saying from what I've seen so far and in terms of his return in the Dutch league, I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously he hasn't been around long enough in the Champions League to be an example. If you look at Ziyech tore up the Champions League much more than Anthony did at Ajax, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't have that type of price tag. And I think he deserved a similar price tag, but Man United came calling and the rest is history. But yet again, I feel like with Joao Felix, I feel like the money makes sense. You know what I mean? He's a player that if you spend £90 million on him, £80 million, I think you make your money back. I think he's at a great age because sometimes people ask for that type of money for 26, 27-year-olds. We're talking about someone who's just turned 23. You know what I'm saying?
Turned 23 just now, man.
And he's had that in the game. You know what I'm saying? And he's the same age as Mbappe and them type of man. And I know he's trying to prove himself to that level. And like I said, he affects a game and he doesn't have to score. I love players that can affect a game. It's not just about scoring goals. And like what I see from him is what we saw a lot from Jack Grealish in terms of what he does and how he can carry a team without having to score crazy goals. But like Jack didn't score crazy goals for Aston Villa, but in terms of the impact that he had on the team and how he carried it and how he had a lot of input into how they played and how they wanted to play football, it made Jack Grealish seem like he was this monster of a player because of the way he contributes to the team as a whole. And I think Joao Felix has got that way. Yesterday, he didn't have to score, but his contribution in terms of moving the ball forward, and like I said, we need ball carriers at Man United. I love a ball carrier. I love someone who can just get a ball from deep and just carry it through the middle of the park effortlessly and let it off and get it again.
This is what he brings, isn't it? This is what he brings. For me, big up to Zayn Miasi. He goes, Felix will be joining Arsenal. He wants to challenge, and City don't want him. Plus, we have 150 million budget for January. I don't know about that, mate. I think you need to go reconfirm that budget, mate. But he does say big up Morocco for the Palestine flags. Yeah, man. Big up always, big man. Up, Morocco. Dina Maghribi, man. But I think for me, Adam, it comes back down to, what does Ten Hag want? You know what I mean? Would Ten Hag want a flair player? He has got Anthony. He's a flair player. You know what I mean? Yeah. Garnacho is becoming like one of them players that, he feels like this is his stage. Joao Felix, when I watched him yesterday, man, and Musa makes a great point. he might not score. Well, he did score. Did he score yesterday? I'm sure he scored yesterday. But
No,
he made assists. He made a couple of key passes. He affects the game. The way he dropped in the shoulder and drived with the ball for one of the goals was unbelievable. And I think for me, again, we don't pay the money. It's a club that pays the money. But if Man City came in now for 140 million for Felix, no one would bat an eyelid. And then we'd be like, that's a great signing. Right now, we're kind of hesitating. So it's like, it depends on what Ten Hag wants, in terms of the system. Is it a striker? Is it behind a striker? Is he on the wing? He could drop in between the two. So what would you say he would kind of complement what Ten Hag is doing? What would he say?
The thing is, right now, Felix he's a different type of flair, man. Like we have Anthony and we have Garnacho and we have flair players, but Felix is different. he really is different. Like I rate that player, and I would put the money for Felix. And to me, it appears that Ten Hag loves players that are actually quite versatile. He loves to have options, and he's a coach as well. Like you can see the way he's trying to coach Rashford to do things, to do center forward things. You can see that he's trying to teach players playing on the wing to do wing stuff. And so with a guy like Joao Felix, who can actually, he already does it all, to be honest. And he can play pretty much every. I don't want him to be this striker because I think you miss out on so much of his game if he's just there for the goals, like you and Musa you were just saying. But to be honest, I think if he comes in, he's probably immediately our best left winger. And if he comes in, he's probably our best number 8 already, and our best number 10 immediately. And if we have to play with a false 9, he's probably already our best false 9. With him and Martial, you could say Martial is a bit stronger physically, so for the hold up. But when it comes to the relationship with the ball, I think Felix is just different. And those players, like you said, yeah, we can pass on him, but when is another player like that in the contract situation he's in with his club going to appear again? You might have to wait 5, 6, 7 years for this to happen again. So, and I'm fed up of being late to good deals. United are always late to good opportunities. So just, and another thing, he's been playing with Diego Simeone for years now.
I know, yeah. He's been he signed a 6-year contract. He said a deaf contract, which kind of, and 3 more years. That's why they can ask for this money, Yeah,
exactly. And Simeone is a defensive midfield manager, so he has learned how to defend, how to track back. He has learned how to play for the team. People say that that system is ruining or not exposing his talent as much, and that's true. But it's also forged his character and his personality and his work ethic into ways that could be very beneficial for us in a system that we intend to be more forward going. So I think there are many pros to that deal. Actually, too many pros. Like I told you, I'm a fan.
Atletico Madrid CEO Gil Martin says Joao Felix is a top level player, but because of his relationship with Simeone and game time, we feel it makes sense to consider potential bids to sell him. I'd love Joao to continue, but this is the current situation. You know what? It's an investment that they took, Musa, and now they're willing to sell him, and that's why they signed him on a 6-year contract, because then now they can still get a little bit more out of him. So
yeah, and I think there's some money still owed to Benfica or on the next sell on.
Exactly, and COVID hit. This is before COVID that they bought Joao Felix. Now after COVID, they think, you know what? We need some funds. We need a bit of we owe money to kind of. It makes sense now to kind of sell him now. That's why the reality's hit them now.
No, I think it does, and I think they do need the money as well. And that's one thing. And secondly, it's like I don't think Joao Felix, because he's not a big part of their team, and as far as they're concerned, they're still doing well enough for what they want. It doesn't affect them. It's not like they're pulling out their star player who is like pinnacle to the way they play and to how they get their business done. They're not doing that. So they're basically saying we have an asset that's worth like around £80 million just sitting there on a bench, and we don't even have money. Like you can't have an asset like that on a bench. And that's how I feel like even someone like Jack Grealish at Man City, if he doesn't have a good season this season, he's under pressure. People are not going to allow to have those type of assets just sitting there, and they're not pinnacle to the way the team plays, or they're not pinnacle to them winning stuff or even like competing. And Joao Felix hasn't been that for Atletico Madrid. So I think for them, they're just thinking we can get £80 million, close to like 95 million euros for him, and we can easily go and invest that in players who will make the system of Simeone better in the way that he wants to play and keep us there and about. I think one thing Atletico Madrid are not underestimating, they're not underestimating the power of the top 4 money or finishing in the top 4 in their league and being in the Champions League and consistently being there. They're not getting above themselves and thinking we can do better. Yes, they've won the league, I think, twice in the last 10 years. They're happy with where they are, going in the Champions League, getting that Champions League money, getting some of that La Liga money rights for the football rights for the Liga. They're comfortable in the space that they're in. Where some teams they try to punch above their own weight, and then before they know it, they're in big trouble. So
of course.
You know what I'm saying? So they would even take a Fred. That's a Simeone player. They would take players like that, and I think there are players that they would take from us that we might underestimate and think, no, obviously Martial's a player they would have looked at, but obviously we're ready to give him a chance at Old Trafford and see where he goes. But again, I just feel like striking option wise, I think I'm not too worried because Ronaldo wasn't even really playing for us. And the last games that he did play, he didn't even contribute how we wanted to. I think we need a fit Martial and we need a confident Rashford that we're seeing. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like if someone else can pull up and start supporting more. And I think the biggest problem we've had at Old Trafford really right now is that sadly Sancho started the season well on the right and Ten Hag got his guy in and then he had to bring him to the left and then it was competing and it's kind of threw him off. But he had a good pre-season and he had a good start to the season. But if Jadon Sancho can get anywhere back to the levels that we know and he can contribute to those goals and assists with the rest of them up there, and we can add on a Joao Felix, who Ten Hag did go in for in the summer. This is something that we have to remember. Like, this is a player he did inquire about in the summer and is a player that he did want. So I just feel like the fact that he's done that and he's already inquired, it's enough for us to know that he wants him and he sees him as a player that can fit in his system. And another thing I think that we underestimated, what you just said there, was that the new mind frame that he's picked up from Simeone in terms of defending and being out of position for a long possession for a long time, and how to get back into that formation when you're out of possession and that defensive mindset. I think having that with you now and a manager that allows you to express yourself and go free, I think it will be a great addition to Man United. So again, when things start ticking the boxes, this is when we get worried and think they won't do it.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Nearly 300 watching, guys. Make sure you guys like the video. It's right at the bottom of your screen. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It just depends on whether United, where do they go? Do they go with a Gakpo again? Adam, who's very, very raw and obviously still developing, or do you have a technical baller who's already ready, but you might pay a bit more premium? Which one are you as a fan kind of like looking to? Obviously, the manager has his own ideas, but you've got a guy who's got the ability and the ability's there, but then you've got to pay a bit more, or you've got a guy who's probably worth 50 million, but his potential might come in the next year or two. It's a kind of a it's a weird one, isn't it? You know what I mean? You go for the 50 million, it might not work, and a lot of people are saying, oh, they're still a bit unsure on Gakpo. I think for what the manager wants from him, I think he can improve him. But you get a Joao Felix where you might pay a bit more, then the quality is going to be there from the off. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait 1 or 2 years. You can know it instantly. And he could give you the season where United could win some trophies and then maybe push up the league. So it's a weird one, isn't it?
I like Gakpo, to be honest. I like what I saw from him. I like his strength. I like the goals, of course, because he scored goals. But I like the way he's also looking for a pass. That's something that I actually quite rate. And I saw the game, Netherlands against United States. I thought he was brilliant that game. Well, he was very, very good. And I like what I see from him. I haven't seen enough, but what I saw, I'm quite a fan. I can't lie. And I somehow I like Dutch players. They just feel disciplined. They just feel proper team players. And with coach like Van Gaal, and he's at PSV, I think. Yeah, I'm quite a fan. Of course, if it's between him and Felix, I just don't think they are exactly the same thing. And Felix is, I think, the better talent, of course. That's why, honestly, I would go for both.
100%, and that's you took it right out of my thinking. I
would honestly go for both. It just depends. This January, I think we need a right back on loan or something. I think we absolutely need a right back because we just don't know. We don't know what can happen. well, if something happens to Dalot and we don't have backup for that position. So and we need a forward. So we need.
Some say we should get both. I think both is very, very unrealistic. It's going to be one or the other.
I think over the two transfer windows, though. I think over the two transfer windows, I think we should be going in for. I think with Felix, if you can guarantee to buy him in the summer, I think you could get a loan. They did want him out because I just feel like there is possibilities. And again, a lot of these deals are structured over a period of time. So there are structured deals. It's not like we're going in and just giving them 80 million out of our bank account. We can go in and say, Felix, cool, we'll pay 85 million for you. We're going to give you 40 million, and then we're going to structure out the rest of the payments like that. And we can do the same for Gakpo, where we say, cool, we're going to give you 50 million. We're going to go with 30 up front, and then we're going to structure out the rest. Like a lot of these deals with Man City and all these other clubs are structured out. Why is it Man United always just pulling out money? I just don't get it.
Because we're dumb. Because people are making bad decisions. Like I think we gave Leicester 60 million up front for Maguire or 70. Doesn't make sense at all. Who does that? Especially for that guy. It just doesn't make any sense.
You have to structure out these payments. It's very important. And I feel like there are like these teams or these clubs that want this money. As long as they get their money at the end, they're happy to do these structured payments. I think it's very important for us to just realize that big clubs, like you just saw the summer that Barcelona had, and we're arguing about, can we get Gakpo and Felix? Like, that's a bit too much for us. I just think to myself, what's Man United on? You just saw these men come and just swipe up player after player, top players,
while being broke.
Certain transfers we've overpaid, but that comes down to the board and obviously the Glazers and what they've been doing. But now, like I said, they're going to pay 50 million, I think, for Gakpo. So 50 million euros. So that's what he's worth right now. Obviously, if PSV say he's had a good World Cup and his price has gone up a bit, we don't know. And obviously, Arsenal are still in here. Arsenal might go in for Gakpo as well because obviously they need a striker. Obviously, Gakpo's not a striker, but obviously he's a forward that maybe they might think, you know what, can mold it to a striker. So there is competition out there. So again, it could lead to maybe us going for Felix. You just don't know what's going to go.
I think we wanted Gakpo during last summer, and I wouldn't be surprised if before the World Cup there has already been some sort of deal, like an understanding between the clubs that regardless of what happens at the World Cup, we are willing to give you 40 millions, and if he scores 20 goals in the World Cup, we don't want you to go to 70 or 60. It wouldn't be surprised me if there was already some sort of agreement that we are willing to give you this money for this guy in January, no problem, and we'll give you upfront. But don't mess around with the price tag because of a good or a bad work. The only thing that really bugs me though is we need midfielders. If we didn't need midfielders, I think Gakpo and Felix is easy to do. The thing is, midfielders are expensive as well. And if we are going to go back for a Frankie de Jong or someone of that sort of profile, that's another 80 million.
So Frankie's money's gone down, though. I think Frankie's price has gone down from what it was even last summer. I think it's gone down, and I think him staying there hasn't really done him any favors. I don't see if we were going to offer like 80 million pound last summer. I think Frankie could be around the 60, 65 now.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Again, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen in this January. It's difficult. They could, on one way, say, you know what, we're going to drive up the sale and we're going to make sure potential suitors come in, and then they could spend money. Or they could do like, you know what, we haven't got the investment to spend, and we're going to see if we can do what we could do with this squad. You know what I mean? Because there are plenty of forwards in the team, but not necessarily strikers. We've got Martial, then we've got a load of wingers, and then Rashford could play in the forward behind Martial. So we could do that most, or they could either actually just go and say, you know what, we're going to go and get Gakpo and we're going to go and get him in the summer.
I think Ten Hag is tactically good enough to play the false nine and to have something different. I think he is, especially in terms of when you see the different types of strikers. He hasn't only ever had one type of striker. That's about him. He's always adapted to what he's had and done the best out of it. And I think he knows that he's got a lot of flair players, but he's always called everyone forwards. He says the club needs 6 forwards. He's never really been, from the beginning he came to the club, he's always spoke about City and other teams having 6 forwards and saying that it's not just about the striker. You need 6, you need 2 in each position up there, and they all have to be able to come in and do a job for you. So I think saying that, and saying that the fact that he went for Gakpo in the summer and he went for Felix, that's the same summer that he's inquired about both of them. And we've lost what's his name, the Uruguayan striker that we had, Cavani. And then, and then and Ronaldo. I think we have lost 2 strikers, but I have heard that Ten Hag does like Ahmed.
Ahmed Diallo.
Ahmed
Can
Diallo.
we recall him back though? I don't think we can recall him.
No,
back.
but I think like long term, I think he's happy what he's doing over there, and he likes to have another left-footed sided player. So I'm looking at him as, and I've heard that he likes him. So I'm looking at him and Anthony tying up the right wing. How I'm seeing it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In terms of his left, he likes that balance. So then again, another question we asked, with Bruno being 28 years old, going to be 29, a lot of us were saying that he's not really a number 10. There was a lot of people saying Bruno's not really, he's not that Mata, he's not that Felix, he's not that guy who just drops, like he's not that number 10. So a lot of us were saying that before, but because of the lack of midfielders we've had, he's done a good job. And I like Bruno and I like what he does for the team. But there was not long ago, all the fan base was saying they're not having him. So if you're not having Bruno and he's not that number 10 and everyone thinks he's a better 8, then why isn't Felix someone who we know is an ideal 10 and can play the 9, but is ideally better than a 10? So I think the conversation really, if we really look at it, I think we do have the space, but I think we get caught up on the first 11. I don't want to really get caught up on the Man United first 11 no more. I need a squad like I've seen City do for long. When Mahrez comes on, Mahrez comes off, and I just see Sterling come on and just tear up the wing from nowhere. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, they got players for player. Like, this is what I want to see. I want to see Anthony come off, and I want to see Gakpo come on. I want to see level.
Bro, that's what it's about, man. Look at Bernardo Silva. There's certain times where I think he was holding bench for a while. You know what I mean? There were certain times when Gundogan was holding bench. Yeah, like it's a squad holding bench.
Like people hold bench, and these are top players. So why can't we have a bench of Gakpo? I don't know who else is there. Sancho, Rashford. Why can't we have that? And they come on. Like, we should be able to do that. And like I said, football now, with the amount of games and the fitness level, it's almost become like an hour game. Because of the level of fitness, like an hour of intensity non-stop, and then another player comes and does half an hour. It's almost become that.
It's a long season as well when you think about it, man. It's not as if you've got a lot of competition to play them. You know, you need a big squad. Like I said, we get caught up as fans, and we always say to ourselves, we want this player to be starting every game, or this player feels like he needs to be starting every game when he demands it. But again, like I said, Man City, they don't know when they're playing next. They don't know. So the fact that you could have Gakpo, you could have Joao Felix, like you could have certain players in this squad. There's never a need for like too many, because at the end of the day, it's a squad game, and Ten Hag, can have that flexible rotation, can he?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've got someone here. This side, who's his side AFC? What is he saying?
He's saying, to be honest, I'm checking Felix's stat. The man is scoring 8 goals a season in La Liga. You want him to be striker. He ain't consistent as well. I'm being honest, but you got to realize the team that he's playing around as well, man.
He's missing a point. So if you're scoring 8 in a system like that, and he can come to United and add 3 or 4 on top of that with the assist, and this is what I get. I think people, if you look at Grealish's stats at Aston Villa, when we all agreed he was tearing up the league, they weren't crazy like that. It's what he adds to the team. It's how he drags 2 or 3 players to him and opens up for another player to score. Do you know what I'm saying? I think people miss that a lot.
Football is a game you need to watch.
Yeah.
You need to watch the games. Otherwise, you wouldn't know. How can you I'm sorry?
That's the whole point in the eye test, isn't it?
Exactly.
Felix is a quality player, man.
Because otherwise, how would you rate someone like Busquets? Like, because I'm Moroccan, I played against Busquets yesterday, and bro, that guy is a problem. He never misses a pass. He never misses an option. But you can't actually like analyze his game by numbers.
No,
does it make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I agree 100%. And I just for me, I'm excited. I just feel like we need a right back. We need another midfielder, because as much as I think Eriksen's done well, when Eriksen didn't play those couple games, we were missing something in the middle of that park, and I think that's scary to me. And I'm very scared of Eriksen and these players just not being like, if he goes missing, Casemiro is shutting everyone up in this World Cup, and he was shutting them up at Old Trafford. Everyone that was talking, I hear what's Graham Souness say, he's an ordinary midfielder.
Yeah,
Casemiro, ordinary. You taking a mick. That's what I'm trying to say. So like, seeing what he's doing, and it just tells me, if you put De Jong next to him, Lord have mercy.
But also, we haven't got any leverage, man. That's the problem. We haven't got any players that we can put as part of the deal. This is the thing, though.
I think they would. I think they would take Fred. I don't think Fred is a bad player, and he's shown it in the World Cup and other times when he's come on. Fred is actually all right in a system, and he's done well for us. I think at Atletico Madrid and Simeone, a player like Fred, who's a nuisance in the middle of the park, I think that's a player that he will take.
And you know what? I think we've been bad for so long that we don't know how to behave, and we don't know how it feels to be good. Good teams have good players at every position on the bench. That's just what it is. And since we are not where we should be as a club, we need to overspend.
Yeah,
we have to. We are not in a position where you can negotiate. When you have a business that is failing, you inject money. You have to. That's the way it is. You need to.
You know what's sad though is that if you look at the right wing in the last 2 seasons, we spent money on Sancho and Anthony. If you add up the 80 million for Sancho and how much for Anthony?
About
95 million euros, I think it was.
So it's about 80. It's about 80 both. So it's like we're talking about 160 a piece for 2 players on the wing. And if we sit here honestly and say those 2 players, can they bring us in 20 goals? We're not sure.
We're not sure. Yeah, it's true. I think you're right. You know, and this comment here, big Omid says, Saeed, if you like eye test, then you can't rate Gakpo highly. As a Madrid fan, it reminds me a bit about CR 17 season, 17, 18, when there's a final action player. This is what I mean. This is the fine balance, isn't it? Final action player or a player who makes the team better. You know,
this is why I said we need both. This is why we need both, because we need that.
What I saw from Gakpo, he was playing quite well, to be honest. More than just the final action.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen enough.
I haven't seen that. But I think Gakpo is what Rashford is to us. Where because we watch him a lot of people criticize his final pass, his decision making. But then the other fans will say, but you lot, he scored 20 goals this season and he's got this amount of assists. Why are you lot criticizing Rashford? They won't get it. They keep on asking us, other fan bases, when he's had those good seasons. And we're saying, nah, it's an eye test. It's not about the assist Rashford's had or the goal. So the last couple seasons when Rashford was actually doing good, a lot of us as United fans still wasn't convinced because we see him all the time. And I think that's what Gakpo has with those fans. But I'm over that now. I'm over complaining about, does he look good? Don't he look? Just give me the 16 goals and give me the 10 assists. Like I'm done with all, because like we said, it's a team sport. Exactly. So if you can pull your weight and you're happy to hold bench, because Rashford's holding bench at England and he's smiling. So people have to hold bench everywhere. And like we said, people have held
because everyone's English in that team.
Yeah, and they're cracking on. But people have held bench at Man City. Like you've seen that, like we said, Bernardo Silva hold bench. Come on. Like it was just the beginning of the match. Like he hasn't even been sitting on the bench and he's just fiery. So we need a squad. We need a squad.
Absolutely. Big up Faz. Big up everybody who's locked in. Please keep smashing the likes up in the video. Big up to Faz. Faz, we're just talking about Joao Felix potentially. You know what I mean? He's almost like saying, yo, come, you know, anybody come for me and get me out of here, man. Get me out of jail, man. Because he signed an F4 contract. Are you looking to save him? Are you looking to release him from jail? What are you thinking?
Firstly, big up to everyone, man. Big up to all the Mandem. Sorry for the delay. I was not scheduled to come in, but listen, when it's the Mandem, you make time, man. You have to make time. I told Saeed I'm not gonna make it, but listen, you have to move things. And I came and obviously in the show as well, man. Big up everybody to always supporting the Mandem, no matter who it is on the show. You lot are supporting. I saw the show before I was, as I was coming to the studio. So big up all you lot, man, for supporting everyone, for real. And listen, let's go and get the whole of Portugal, bro. Bro, let's go and get the whole of Portugal, bro. I want Joao Felix. I want Rafael Leao. You know how Thingy's been saying it. Mbappe, da. Yo, I want Gonzalo, da. I want all of them, bro. They are amazing. Yo, what's going on? Gonzalo Ramos, bro. He's serious. Let's go and get Joao Felix, Nuno Mendes, bro, Bruno Fernandes. Bro, we have to even start pronouncing with respect, bro, with Portuguese pronunciation, bro. They're serious, There's some talent in the squad. And don't tell me about, just because Gonzalo Ramos is scored a hat trick, whatever, this, that, the other. You lot know me. I'm a big game player merchant. If you turn up in a big game, and Switzerland are not a joke team. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not a joke team, man, because if you go and check their history, right, in Euros, in general, playing friendlies, they're a decent squad. They can hold their own. And on top of that, if a team is making it into knockout stage in a World Cup, I got respect for them. That's the first and foremost thing. You have to have respect for them. Listen, there's some Portuguese talent that we need to be looking at. And Joao Felix is younger than Hakpo. And Gonzalo Ramos is younger than both of them. Both of them. Bro, I don't know what people are saying don't get these players. If we're not getting these future stars, with the manager that we have, the way he can develop them, bro, I don't know what we're doing, man. Listen, I want to humbly apologize to the community for Lautaro Martinez. I done messed up, bro. I done messed up because that guy, I thought he was the truth. And that guy was just... Bro, that guy was the bronze medal wrapped in gold, bro. I'm sorry, man. I got that wrong there. I got that wrong, man.
You know what?
He was the guy.
Yeah. Does the price put you off, though, in terms of, you think United would be able to spend that, or would you kind of look towards a Gakpo who we spent 50 million, but it's again a bit raw?
Listen, we need a number 7. Musa! Jesus, bro. What's going on behind the scenes scratching under, man? What are you doing? Well, listen, we need a number 7. We need a number 7. Is Sancho sleeping on time? What's going on? Everybody's telling me, Sancho's cooking. Why is he cooking? Even boiled rice, bro, there's a smell of boiled rice. I'm not smelling nothing, bro. What's he cooking? Because Cadiz and Betis, that's where you're supposed to bring what you're cooking, right? We're going to see what's Elanga cooking, what's Martial cooking, what are these players cooking? We're going to see something, today. Sancho should be there. If you ask me, Sancho should be there. The one place he should be concentrating on is games. And Cadiz and Betis is not there. Yo, I'm concerned, man. What's he cooking, bro? It ain't tilapia he's cooking. It ain't beef stew he's cooking.
The manager's tasted his food already, and he knows it's top.
Ooh.
He just wants him to go in this.
Last time I checked, individual training is for players who might be injured, players who might lack fitness, players who might need just polishing a little bit. But you got Cadiz and Betis away, and this guy is not there, bro. This guy is supposed to be our future number 7. Considering that, Glazers make marquee signing. Go and get me number 7, Joao Felix, man.
That's what I was saying, Musa.
Sell them shirts, baby. Sell them shirts, baby. Sell them shirts, baby.
Sancho, no one's in doubt of his talent and what he's able to do. So I think special players demand special measures. This is a special measure. This is Houston. We have a problem. This is a special measure. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like Ten Hag's like, listen, you don't need to play against these, man. You've done Champions League. I've seen you terrorize Barcelona in the new camp. 1-up. I've seen it. Yeah. We all saw it. Yeah. We need you to be back there. That's all I need from you. Go and do what you need to do. Yeah. I'll see you on the first game back against Burnley. See you later.
No. But wouldn't you have liked to just see him a little? I know I would have. You all would have, just to see him a little.
We're the first, if he comes and he's still huffing and puffing, we're the first to say, boy, he wasn't looking too good, against him. So we don't need that right now. We just need him to get away, get your mind right, and make sure you come back on point. Because Joao Felix
I hope so. I hope so, man. I'd love Joao Felix, man. I would love him. I'll take him in a heartbeat.
That number 7 shirt is going to be vacant. I wonder who actually takes it, because, like I said, would they keep it for that marquee signing, Gakpo, someone who comes in? They promised
it to Sancho. So what do you mean? It's not his no more. Remember, it's only because Ronaldo came in. He was JS7.
That's true, That's true.
Ronaldo I think his number had a similar remember, I think it had a similar impact to what happened to Martial. He was promised the number 7 shirt. We wasn't meant to be signing Ronaldo that summer. Then from nowhere, Ronaldo kicked in the door. and his number 7 shirt was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah. Gone.
You know
Gone.
what?
Gone.
I wouldn't give the number 7 to anyone. I would take back the number 11, the number 10, the number 7, all the proper numbers, and they deserve it. Because so far, no one deserves number 10. No one deserves number 7. No one deserves number 9 even. No. It's not good enough at the moment. You will just get. If Rashford goes back to 39, I think he will cook. But so far, he's not doing it. It's just, to me, just. No one deserved the number 7. Cavani didn't deserve it. Memphis didn't deserve it. You could say that Ronaldo is Ronaldo, that his whole brand is number 7. But was he United number 7 the last 2 years? He wasn't. And now, given what Sancho did for the last 2 years, I'm a big Sancho fan. And I think the criticism is too harsh. I wouldn't give him the 7. I just would not. Because now it adds extra pressure on top of already a pressured situation for him.
Yeah. True. And you know what? The shirt has to be earned. It comes, you know, these are big numbers, you know. They come with responsibility. They come with targets, by the way. These numbers come with targets on the pitch, off the pitch. They come with a lot of different pressure from media, you know, not just media pressure. They come from pressure from the Glazers. You have to sell the shirts as well. You know, if you're stinking up the gaff, you're not going to be selling shirts. And number 7 is iconic.
I got 2 missed calls here from Jadon Sancho's dad.
Nah, you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Uncle,
right now.
Uncle, listen. I just listen.
Hey,
I'm an uncle.
Dad, you know.
Yeah, 2 missed calls.
Listen, Sancho Senior. All I'm saying is we want to see your sunshine.
Wait, you know what? You need to expose Faz for slandering Sancho, then.
Yeah, God is good. God is good, man. Time out yourself, bro.
Hey, what do you say?
I can't expose him. I can't. I was just about to get him.
No.
He's going to be under pressure.
Sancho, I think he'll know that. I think for me, he's got time on his hands. He's doing an individual training program. And I think ultimately, you know, the manager has a plan for him. The manager really, really has a plan for him. And it's going to be now or never. He said it with Donny. Now or never. You're not going to go out alone. You're going to make it happen here. And he has to rise to the occasion. Sancho has to rise to the occasion. So if he sees Gakpo coming in, Man United potentially getting Felix, bro, he's got to say, you know what? Let me show them what I was doing at Dortmund. Let me show them what I was doing.
Yo, Rafael Leao, man. Yo, there's players with swag, you know. I'm just saying, there's players with swag right now, man. And I need Jadon Sancho to go back to the, you know what I'm saying, to go back to them days, you know, to go back to them days. Start feeling yourself, man.
If we get Joao Felix and then we have a competition between like the best version of Sancho and Joao Felix, bro, the only winners is the club. Because that's something I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Because now at the moment, if you go back to the numbers thing, we went from Ryan Giggs to Januzaj to that other guy and to Rooney, from Rooney to Rashford. It's like, bro, we can't keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
We just cannot keep doing this. It has to be merit.
I think
the merit thing is all his heritage. We just don't deserve anything. People just get something without actually earning it or working hard for it, or without being like a legitimate claim for that thing. And that creeps in and becomes complacency over time. And you build bad habits. And bad habits are harder to break than they are to build. That's a very well-known thing. And we need to go back to this. No one gets the number they want. No one. Until you deserve it.
Have you guys discussed the price? Joao Felix price, if you would pay
130 million.
Would you? No. I'm saying, would you guys pay that figure? Have the Mandem discussed it? Would you pay that figure?
Yeah, I'm only paying 85 million for him. I'll pay 85 million for him. That's it.
Depends on the business we do.
Depends on the business we do.
I'm paying 85 million, like 100 million euros. Because if this Anthony's 100 million euros, this Felix is 100 million euros. That's just me.
Because the thing is, Anthony is not 100 million euros. It's just that we
That's what I'm saying. But Felix really is. I believe Felix really is. I don't believe that Joao Felix has declined in his talent or playing of football. I just really believe that the style that he's been under at Atletico Madrid has not allowed him to showcase the best of him. And we've always seen glimpses of it when he's gone away for international or when he's been played in the Champions League. We've seen glimpses of it, but that's when he's been given a bit more freedom. But I don't believe he's diminished. So I just believe he's a player that just needs a platform. He needs a stage, like he's had the World Cup. So it's not this Anthony like, oh yeah, maybe because I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna spin around, and because right now Anthony's not the main starter for Brazil. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's coming off the bench.
The situations are so different because with Anthony, they did not want to sell him, and we went in late in the window. And now Atletico, they want to let Felix go, and we are ahead before the transfer windows. So I think just those circumstantial factors, it takes off at least 25 to 20 million of the price tag, because they want to sell, we want to buy, we are ahead of time. We're not like last days of a transfer window. And to be honest, as much as I like Anthony, I like him, and he's intense. This is mostly what I like about him. He's intense, and you can see in his posture, man. He's standing up straight, man. He's not sloppy. He's not. He's proper right. And since his last game, I think we didn't have one good game since Anthony left the team, because all of a sudden we don't have a right hand side. It's not even a question of talent. We just don't have a right hand side. We just don't. And I think his impact on the team has been I think we miss Varane so much. So much. You could see. I think we haven't had a good performance since Sancho, Varane, and Anthony left the team. And when Rashford was at number 9, we were having good performances. He was just not scoring goals, but we are creating chances. The moment Rashford moved back to the left and Varane and Anthony left the team, we haven't been able to have good performances. And it's all circumstantial. You could say this and that, but it seems that we need many players in many positions to actually play. So let's get Felix, let's get Gakpo, let's get a right back, let's get another centre back. Just get them all in, man.
Yeah, I'm with it. That's what I'm saying, man. Forget you. People ask for players, but we're not supposed to build a squad. People build a squad. Get players that complement each other. Get players that complement the style. Get players that fit in with our future, with our direction we're going. Not just random people, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm guilty of that. I said, yo, get me Lautaro Martinez, but then I was like, nah, man, I was getting gassed because this guy is actually not the main man striker. You just have to say as it is. I'm not a pundit. I'm not on TalkSport getting paid. I'm just on the Mandem chat. You know, I'm just like anybody else.
Because pundits are way worse than that.
So again, I don't know why PSG. Where would they fit Joao Felix? They want to meet with the players.
Messi's off, isn't it? Messi's going to Inter Miami and all that stuff.
That would be a perfect Messi replacement.
This guy's going to go get cocktails and mocktails, bro. Love it, man. Cocktails and mocktails, man.
But it does make sense though. If Messi is looking to leave in January, then in the summer, then Joao Felix would be a player that maybe could come in the summer and obviously kind of replace
it. The thing about PSG is that it's not. It's like PSG is like for me, it's like a pack of cards ready to collapse at any minute, because at the top of that card is Mbappe, who's not really meant to be there if it's not for the financial clout that's made him stay there. So if that brother goes, and we know that Neymar's coming to the end of where he's at, the Brazilians, they normally retire early. They don't really stay around for long, especially the forwards, and they go back home and they've got the money and he's done what he needs to do. I don't think he's going to do anything more, especially, I don't know if he's going to win Champions League at PSG, but if he's done what he needs to do, he's coming to an end. He's like, 30, 31. I just feel like if Mbappe just breaks out of this contract and goes Madrid and they pay that silly money from whatever it is, where does that leave PSG? And where does that leave you as a player? Who are you really going to play there with, and what's really going on there in France? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I think it's a bit manufactured there, and it kind of makes you believe things are going on. But really, Messi goes away. Neymar's on like 1 or 2 seasons left and he's gone. Mbappe's not staying there forever. We all know that. I'll be surprised if he does 2 more seasons at PSG because of the way he goes on. So I just don't see Joe. I think we're surprised. I think we'll be surprised if we don't get our business right, if a team comes in for him and he just wants to play and it's not even the level that we thought it was going to be. They're just there or thereabouts. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, don't be surprised because people have got money. Like I heard Aston Villa today that surprised me. What was that?
Yeah, Aston Villa. That's, you know what? It was crazy.
Yeah, because they got money.
I was crazy to think that Aston Villa are in pole position.
Around there, people just come and buy your stuff.
Pole position for what?
For Joao
Felix.
All right, bro. That would be the end of me.
And they've made a move for him. But they've got money.
Yeah, apparently it's to do with the representatives. Apparently they're tight. George Mendes and the guy at Aston Villa, their relationship is proper
Because
tight.
we don't really know. Remember when sometimes players end up at clubs, and this is one thing that I don't want people to underestimate. If you look at the Spanish league and the Liga clubs, they have a history of letting players go out on loan. Like if you look at the players Barcelona have let go out on loan and Real Madrid to Bayern Munich and the German leagues, these are players they played big money for, like Coutinho. What's the other guy? The Colombian number 9 that used to play. He went to Everton as well for a bit. He was on loan. James. These are players that were in a similar mode, that had big reputations, and these lot let them go out on loan. So we don't know how hungry Atletico Madrid are to just get some money in now, even if they say, we're going to sell him in the summer, but we want to do a loan deal that's worth 10 million for the last of the season and get 10 million. Like, we don't know how hungry they are. We're just sitting there because Man United are kind of funny sometimes. They don't go in for the kill. They don't play right. So don't be surprised if you see him on a loan for the rest of the season somewhere, and Atletico getting money in while his stock rises again.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's a mad one. And like I said, he said that in the report, he said he wants an ambitious club. It just, like I said, the owners start trickling in January, and we hear noise about the Dubai investment faz. You know what I mean? It could potentially cause like fireworks in it, because at the end of the day, you never know who then is like, you know what, I want to see what United's about now. Because at the end of the day, new owners bring new ambitions, and you want to be part of the project. There's always that first player. They had it with Robinho, and they got Robinho, Man City. Then they started sparking it. And then Tevez came, and then David Silva, Yaya Toure. Don't get me wrong, we still have our history, but also the project is something new about United that could be a game changer for clubs, knowing that, you know what, they want to be part of a new future at Man United.
Yeah, you know what?
It's a new dawn.
And for the Glazers, it just makes sense to spend a lot of money before selling the club, because it just raises the value of the club.
Yeah,
if they spend 250, 300 million, let's suppose, like if they break their record, it's not out of their pockets, it's out of the club. So, but it comes with a lot of benefits for the sale of the club.
And also, don't forget, which club's players are playing the best right now in the World Cup?
Yeah,
that's true.
Right? Manchester United players, stocks are high right now. How much is Diogo Dalot worth in the market right now? If Diogo Dalot was not wearing a Manchester United shirt, what would he be worth? For example, if Diogo Dalot was wearing a Sevilla, all of these other clubs,
big money.
If Bruno Fernandes was not wearing a Manchester United shirt and he was wearing, let's say,
I get what you mean.
Let's be honest. Bruno Fernandes in an Atletico Madrid shirt is 120 million right now as we speak in this form. You can't tell me otherwise. So Manchester United owners are loving life right now, man. Rashford, how much is Rashford worth then? How much is Rashford worth now?
England's Mbappe, that's they call him.
That's what I'm saying.
His contract out summer.
If every 24 hours Hakpo's price is going up 10 mil, last time I checked, Rashford, who's also one of the biggest shirt sellers in the world, you're talking big money players for the Glazers right now, and it makes sense for them to go and get someone of a high caliber player. Listen, that's one thing we do really well, which is it sounds weird and crazy, but we get marquee signings. This is what we're known for. I won't be surprised. But I keep saying, and I'll say it again, I have just never seen a club, a business spend 200+ million whilst being in Europa. It's unheard of. It's never been done before. So I'm just. I think
the closest. I think we're the only club that's got closest to it, because we've always spent, every time we're in Europe, we spend crazy. That's when we bring Pogba in. We bring people in whenever we are in there. So it's like we're the only club that does that, because we panic, and this is what they do. They always panic. But again, guys, I'd like to ask you a question. If Ten Hag gets in his next 4 signings, who are they, and how do you see the starting 11 starting next season? If you get 4 signings in,
he needs a midfielder. He needs a midfielder. He needs a striker, and he needs a right back, and ideally one more centre back, because I feel like for me, Maguire needs to be sold, and either Lindelof maybe can be back up. So you would only have 3 centre backs. You need one more. So I think them 4. I think we need a midfielder. We definitely need a midfielder. We definitely need another striker, and then a right back as well.
Yeah,
and a keeper as well.
A keeper, exactly. I was going to say
keeper as well. People want to see, the keeper replaced. How much is he worth? But I don't think United would. It's like we have to prioritize everything, man. And it's sad to see, but we have to. We have to prioritize everything. Simple as that. Because then United are not going to spend all that money and then go, you know what, we need a keeper as well. You know, that's
I know if we get the sell through, I think we're going to have a good summer. I think we'll have another summer where we spend over the 200 million.
See, the Amrabat as well, man. That Amrabat looked decent as well. You know?
I would buy shit. I would buy a top.
Bro, Amrabat, I'm just trying to see how old is he?
Because I'm looking at the team, I'm thinking he wants that Frimpong guy in the right back as backup. Then I'm thinking if he goes back in for someone like obviously De Jong, we know that. 26. So we're looking at a midfield of De Jong and Casemiro. A lot of people wasn't having Bruno at number 10 not long ago. This is why I'm keep on saying how important is Joao Felix, who can cover a number of places and still hold his own. How important is he? Because when people are not having Bruno at number 10, who are you having at 10? We put Eriksen there and it's not really him. So who are we having at 10? And we know when we don't have that 10, the ball's just not going up there. It's just not getting to the forwards. So I think people are underestimating Bruno's position and having someone who can play on the left, play on the right, but can also just tell Bruno sit on the bench and play 10 comfortably. I just feel like if Bruno's not on it, what do you do? Because there's a lot of other players that can come in for Casemiro and the other guys in the middle of the park. But every time Bruno's out, we've seen it, we struggle. So what do we do without Bruno? And we don't even have a backup. Who's Bruno's backup?
Yeah, that's
true. Bruno's important in the sense that he brings energy and work rate.
Well. Bruno's backup was supposed to be Mr. If I say his name, if I say his name, all I have to say that's all I'm saying. Man. Rest, you lot take it.
Nah, he's done. But, well, I think is he not even playing tonight? I'm doing the watch along later on, but
he is.
He's starting in it. So let's see what he's about in it later on in it.
No, I'm not going to write off Donny, but it's a different type of 10. I said like Donny's a different type of 10. He's not the Mata 10 that we're used to. He's not. So I just feel like that 10 that we're trying to get. Yeah, we don't have it. I just think it's mad to say it. He's not a utility player, Felix, but he can play across any of those front forward positions. But I mean, comfortably play them.
Yeah.
There's a difference with saying that Rashford can play on the right and he can play, but is it comfortable? Is it effortless?
Yeah,
I'll be honest though. You know, I want to recycle some players, man. Recycle has to happen. I want to sell some players. I know you said which 4 players coming in, but let's be honest, which 4 players are going out? Let's recycle.
That's a good point as well. We need to raise some funds, man.
Listen, we never do our bit for the environment ever. Recycle, man. Learn to recycle, man.
Man City are laughing. They're the net spend champions now. You know what I mean? In terms of like, you know how Liverpool used to be called. You're the next spend champion. Now, Liverpool, Man City are spending, and they're spending next to nothing because they're selling a lot now as well. The youngsters, like, bro, if we need to sell our youngsters, let's sell them. Let's sell some players, innit?
Yeah, big time.
Also, by the way, what does it say to agents and clubs when you're recycling? It says, we can't just charge them a premium because they've got a cycle going. They've already got a freaking, not a spreadsheet, but you get what I mean, of, okay, this is the price. You agree, disagree? Right, we got the next guy. Because they trust their manager. They've got a plan B, C, D, E, everything. And when they see the right opportunity, this is the thing as well. When they see the right opportunity, they will snatch it with both hands. And that's going to pay. Look, Julian Alvarez is paying off for them. 16 mil.
Yeah, that was
16 mil. Also, last time I checked, Ralph Rangnick might win a World Cup, you know. Ralph Rangnick might win a World Cup right now, by the way he looks. By the way, this guy was scouting players, man. I hope I said this to my stream as well. If new owners come in, please get me Ralph Rangnick upstairs, man.
Listen, I we spoke about Chelsea getting that player from Leipzig
and Cuckoo.
Yeah, they man have just signing players for the next summer already. What's going on at Old Trafford then? This is why I talk about new owners and how they move.
Exactly.
That man already signing players. We're here debating should we get it. There's no reason we shouldn't have breaking news. Flipping United have signed so and so.
Exactly.
It's true. But,
Rangnick, I agree with Faz. Rangnick was badly disrespected, bro. That's a guy that knows what he's doing. He knows. So if you don't agree with it at the time and you think he's shit at the time, just wait. Because usually good stuff takes time to happen. And all of a sudden he knows what he's doing, bro. He just knows.
Absolutely. Listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. 400 of yous over 400 of you in the chat. Big up to the community. If you could like the video on your way out, it would be a massive, massive pleasure. So please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Mandem, Planet Vaz. Make sure you go follow Adam Manred on Twitter. And make sure you go follow Musa as well with his Resol situation. And also, let us know what the situation with Sancho is, man. You know what I mean? Hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Hope he's well, because obviously, you know what I mean? We need to see that comeback, man. So hopefully he's good. And people, I'll be doing a watch along for Cadiz first United game. So hit that link. I'll be going live after this stream. So please, guys, go into that link right now. Hit the like button, and I'll see you there in a bit. But Mandem, it's been a pleasure, man. Hopefully by next Wednesday we could have some news about another player, maybe potentially coming by United, man. So
remember what I'm saying, man. We need to do this. If Africa had one team, what we need to do is say the top 20 teams in Africa you can only pick. So you have to find out who are the top 20 nations in football in the top 20, and then you gotta put together a 26-man squad, because I think that squad there is the only time they're taking on the likes of what we're seeing today. Because when I'm seeing the way they're playing, a sprinkle from Morocco, a sprinkle from Senegal, from Nigeria, some from Ghana, sprinkle that all together into an African 11, then they're going to see what's happening.
We need Hakimi, Ono, and Amrabat, and the rest you can.
Definitely, man. Big up to Morocco, man. Hopefully they do it on Saturday, man. Come on, man. You get Medina Maghribi, man. Big up to everybody. Listen, we're out, people. Take.